We're now moving into chapter 5 of the textbook, and this is to do with retrieving data. And so what we're going to do today is we're going to try and populate this worksheet here, this grid, automatically by referencing data that is not currently on the grid, by looking up here and looking up here and looking over here in terms of the customization of the cells here. Let me show you what we're aiming for over here. If I have 240 orders, or quantity of orders from this particular customer here, you'll notice here that we have $2 that we're giving them as a price. However, if they've only ordered 15, such as this person at the bottom here, we're going to charge them $2.45. Now, what we don't want to do as human beings is enter this automatically. We want the computer to enter these values based on the quantity automatically. And so up here in this little grid, we have the price breaks based on volume. So you'll see that at 240 or less, they get charged $2.12 for anything under 240, but above 120 up to 239. Okay, so for example, if I was to put down 239 right here, all right, it comes back as $2.12 here. Let's bring that back to 240. Okay, if I make this 60 here, if I made that 60, what would the number be? The number would be 245, right? Or 227, because it's right on the 60. So let me undo that. So basically this is being populated automatically by looking at this number and then going up to this grid here and then coming back with the appropriate number. And then the shipping cost is much the same. Basically the shipping costs here are dollars per item being sold by truck, by delivered by truck, rail, ship, or being picked up by the customer, therefore no cost. So how does that populate automatically? So we'll do that. And then further, we got shipping discount, which is provided based on the price of the order. So this order right here, scaled over here, gives a discount level. So we're going to figure out what that is right here. So this is what we're starting off with. And so let's start off by figuring out how to do the unit price. So the formula that we use for this is called VLOOKUP, for vertical lookup, VLOOKUP. So I'm going to go equals VLOOKUP, like that. And then I say it wants to know three things. It wants to say, what is it you want me to look up? Well, I'm going to look up 240. And then I press comma. And then it says, where is the table that you want me to look up? Well, here it is here. And I'm going to go from A7 down to B10. Now be very careful not to choose the actual column titles, just the data itself. And then press comma, and then it says, okay, I'm going to look up that 240 on this table, and if I find it, what column do you want me to come back with? Column index, they call it. And I say, well, I want you to come back with column 2. So you'll see that we have two columns in this data selection. So come back with column 2, and then last thing we want to do is we want to find out, enter true or false. Now you'll notice that a lot of these numbers are not actually on the list here. So for example, 90 is not on the list, 15 is not on the list. So when you say the word true here, it approximates the number based on an iterative process. So true is used if you want inference, and false is used if you want an absolute connection between 240 being on the list or not. That we'll get closer to that as we get to it. Press enter, and you'll see that it actually goes there and comes back with $2. So there's the $2 now put into this cell. Now if I drag this down, it's not going to work, right? Because we haven't nailed down the range that we referenced up here. If I press F2, it shows me the ranges and what's made up of this formula. So if I was to escape and then copy this down, one here, it's not going to work because you'll see how the red blob now is being moved down with the pattern. So I want to nail down that red blob in the first place. So I'm going to delete this one, back to this, F2, and I'm going to nail down the cell A7 with F4 and B10 with F4. Press enter, and now I can pull this down like that. Now the total price is easy to do. It's basically the quantity of 240 multiplied by the price that we just figured out. And then we bring this down. So this pattern has to be followed, so it's working. And then we go to the unit shipping cost. Now, the shipping cost is up here on this table, and we have to look at how they want to actually ship it. So I'm going to go over here, and I'm going to use VLOOKUP again, because it's a vertical table, and I'm going to look up how they're going to be wanting to be delivered, comma. Here's the data. Remember, don't do the top column titles, comma. What do I report back on? Row to column 2, comma. And I want an exact match this time, not the true as we had before. So false is being used. Close bracket, comes back with 20 cents. So it said on rail in this table, come back with 20 cents. So we're not quite finished yet, but it's 20 cents per unit. We have to multiply that by the number of units in a second. All right, so actually let's do that now. I'm going to press F2. Press F2, and now I have to multiply that by the number of units that are in the order, 240. Press enter. Again, this is not going to work if I drag this down, because there's the pattern. All right, so if I escape and I pull this down, all right, pick the second one here, F2. See how the pattern's now bumped down by 1. Don't want that. So I'm going to delete these. Back to this one, F2. Nail down stuff I don't want to move. Press enter, and then pull this down. All right. Now this one here doesn't work because the train is not actually on the list here, because we used the false parameter right here, and so I want to change the word train to the word rail. All right, and you'll see now it works. The total shipping cost can now be calculated, so it's equal to the number that we're sending times I made a mistake here. The total shipping is see, there's the unit shipping and the total shipping. So I made a bit of a mistake here. I put the D14 in there when I shouldn't have, because I should have just done the unit by itself. So I'm going to bring that back. And then now the total shipping is equal to 240 times the unit cost. There's your $48, right? There we go. Now, I want to give them a discount on the shipping cost based on the value of their order, which is right here. And so I'm going to insert a new table up here. And I want to put it starting on G6. So I'm just going to copy this right now. Going to copy it, take it off to our working document, and that starts in G5. So I go to G5 here, right click, and I'm going to paste it. There we go. Actually, let's paste it with formatting. So this one. And now I want to use this as a horizontal lookup, so H lookup, to figure out the discount that they're going to get on their shipping costs. I want to create a column in here to add that discount notation. Now normally when I was asking you to insert columns, I would ask you to do this: touch the top part here, gray the whole thing, right click and insert, and see how it bumps it. I don't want to do that because it creates a bad look and feel right here. So I'm going to undo that, and I'm going to show you another way to bump the column. So you highlight the column like this, right click, insert, and it comes back with a little dialog box saying, what do you want me to do? Do you want to shift over the entire column, etc.? So I want to shift the cells to the right. That's normally what you want to do at this point. Click insert, or go, and it bumps it, creates a column for us here without disturbing this. I now have to fix up this merge, so I'm going to unmerge that. Okay, and this is going to be shipping discount. Discount, like that. And then I'm going to figure out, using this table up here, how much of a shipping discount we're going to have down here. So this is going to be H lookup this time, the horizontal lookup. So here we go. And what am I going to look up? Well, I'm going to look up the value of their order, which is here. And I want to look up the amount of this area right here, representing the data area. I want to report back on discount level 2. All right, so you'll have to know that. Am I using discount level 1 or 2? I'm going to use, let me just make sure I got that right. We are going to be using discount level 2. Right. So we're using row 3. This is row 1. This is row 2. This is row 3. So I'm reporting back row 3. I'm going to be using the word true to interpolate. And then I'm going to nail down I6 with my F4, F4. And then I now I have to multiply that now by the number of units. So I go up here, or actually I could F2 it, and I'm going to multiply that by the number of units. So 240. And so they're going to be given a shipping discount of $24. Let me make sure that's right. Seems high. Oh. It should be 480. So it's coming back as a discount level. Yes, a discount level. That's percentage. So I'm going back here. So this here is shoot back 10%. All right, and then multiply that by D14. Or we're giving a discount of on the total on the shipping costs. All right, the shipping discount is not the total. It's not the discount on the total price. It's the discount on the shipping. So I made a D14 wrong. That should be H14. Let me get that right. H14. All right, there's your $4.80, and then we've nailed everything down properly, and then we can pull this down. So there's the discounts that we're going to give them on this. One thing you can do is you can multiply that by -1, like this, which gives it a brackets around it, and it gives you more of a visual notation as to that this is a negative number and these are positive numbers. And the grand total now is equal to the total price for the order plus the shipping plus the negative discount, 523.20, and then we pull that down. Okay, so very simple, very powerful is the use of VLOOKUP and HLOOKUP. So what I'd like you to do is practice that yourself make mistakes and learn how this all works. End of the video. Thanks.